What's your favorite feel-good movie of all time? You know, the one that boosts up those serotonin levels and puts you in an unbelievably happy mood? Let me put it this way, which movies do you watch to avoid thinking about 2020 and all of its dreadfulness? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, 2020 has been beyond rough. We need a few feel-good movies to help raise our spirits in what every commercial and email tells me is unprecedented times. So without further ado, here's a list of movies with the most feel-good endings of all time. Let's get started. The Princess Bride is literally a movie that has it all. Action, comedy, romance, fantasy, pirates, you name it, The Princess Bride's got it. And its ending will totally make it seem like you just swallowed a whole bucket of rainbows because it's just so heartwarming, on both storylines. For one, Wesley and Princess Buttercup live happily ever after. What's better than finding true love, right? But on the flip side, in the real world, baby Fred Savage learns the value of spending time with his grandfather, and he'll come back the next day to read the story again. Come on, it's the perfect cap to an almost perfect movie. Alright, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade might be on this list because we recently lost the icon that was Sean Connery. And this movie is a true testament to his wit, charm, and just general charisma. But besides all the fun puzzles and hunt for the Holy Grail, this movie is actually a great feel-good movie with a really fun ending. Seeing Sean Connery's Henry Jones choose his son's safety over saving the Grail and actually convincing Indiana to let it go was a really touching moment. These two had been at odds almost the whole movie.
Don't call me Junior.
And Indiana got the sense that his dad thought people who had been dead for over 500 years were more important than his own son. But in the end, with the bad guys vanquished and the day saved, the two Joneses had a breakthrough and repaired their fractured relationship. I don't throw around the word masterpiece very often. Van Gogh's Starry Night? Yeah, a masterpiece. A really good-looking pepperoni pizza when you're starving? Yeah, also a masterpiece. But you know what beats those? Paddington 2. That movie is a masterpiece. A super masterpiece? An ultra masterpiece? Yeah, that works. That movie is the equivalent of being gently lowered into a warm cloud of peace and prosperity. It's just one of the best feel-good experiences you'll ever have watching a bear in a blue coat and a red hat. I guarantee that. It's just such a testament to love and kindness being the most important things in life, and you'll totally find yourself craving marmalade. Watching George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life, you just feel so bad for him. Here is a man who does one good deed after another, sacrificing his happiness to help those around him, and eventually gets to the point where everything is on the verge of collapse. He considers ending things in order to leave behind a life insurance policy for his wife, but a visit by the friendly angel Clarence changes his mind. It's a classic feel-good story with an ending that emphasizes the all-important message of no man is a failure who has friends, and seeing the town rally behind George Bailey after years of hardship might send you into a feel-good coma with how powerful the message is. School of Rock may have lost the Battle of the Bands, but the ending we got was actually so much better. Seeing the massive crowd of onlookers, who apparently had nothing to do on a weekday morning besides going to see a Battle of the Bands, start cheering for School of Rock to play an encore was so satisfying.
It's an encore.
These kids had spent so much time breaking out of their comfort zones to discover a love of music, and hearing their uptight parents cheer and accept them was a great resolution to this movie. Sure, is what Dewey did extremely questionable, and if I was a parent, would I be mad at having to pay this private school money for my kid not to learn anything except be in a band? I mean, maybe. But in that finale, you forget all of that and just want to rock out with the School of Rock. The best feel-good movies are when you have a character who just radiates joy and positivity and ends up changing the cynical people all around them. That's the whole point of the Will Ferrell Christmas classic, Elf. Come on, you can't think of that movie without smiling. And without having a desire to pour maple syrup all over your spaghetti, of course. Elf ends exactly how a Christmas movie should, with a bunch of New Yorkers coming together by singing and spreading a little Christmas cheer. And come on, we all need a little of that in our lives in 2020. If you're a fan of the movies on this list so far, then you need to also check out Sing Street. The 2016 film centered around a boy in the 80s starting his own band just packs one heck of a feel-good punch. Those who've seen it know just how much heart this movie has, and it surprises you with its optimism and charm from start to finish. Plus, the songs are total earworms, and that helps in getting you into the right mindset to enjoy this gem of a movie. If you're looking for a pick-me-up, or just a movie with some really catchy music that will make you smile, then you need to watch Sing Street. Studio Ghibli films are their own special kind of movies. It sometimes feels that you aren't just watching a film, but rather a piece of true art. Wow, was that too pretentious? Okay, let me try again. Studio Ghibli films make people happy. That's the simple way of putting it. Well, most of their movies make people happy. I don't recommend watching Grave of the Fireflies unless you like to ugly cry for days. Anyways, I just mean their happy stuff is top-notch. And one of the all-time classics is My Neighbor Totoro. It's such a feel-good movie that should make the most cynical people smile just a little bit. Plus, it will make you really want to ride a cat bus, so that's a win-win. The first Lord of the Rings movie does a great job in inspiring hope. Sure, the Fellowship broke up, Boromir became archery practice, and Merry and Pippin were captured, but that's still a testament to the quality of the movie for how feel-good its ending actually is. For one, hearing Aragorn rally Legolas and Gimli to go fight the orcs and rescue Merry and Pippin is just awesome and inspiring, while hearing Frodo tell Sam that he's glad they're together on this perilous journey in the middle of all this darkness is almost too sweet. There's a reason why this movie and this trilogy is one of the best ever, and it's for its ability to find the light out of any darkness. Home Alone is about a family who forgot to bring their kid on vacation with them and then did the bare minimum to check if he was okay. Wait, okay, that sounds bad. Let me try again. Home Alone is about a freakishly smart kid who defends his home against intruders by springing a series of sadistic and life-threatening death traps against two inept robbers. Closer I think. But seriously, Home Alone is actually a really great feel-good movie that will show you the importance of family during the holidays.
Fuller, go easy on the Pepsi.
After being home alone for so long, oh, I get it, he was home alone, that's why it's called that. Anyways, the ending where we see Kevin's whole family return home for him is just so sweet that it might give you cavities. If I were to say just two things about the magnificent French film Amelie, the first would be that I'm now super hungry for creme brulee. The second is that it's just lovely from start to finish. It's the very definition of whimsical, and you'll find yourself so enchanted by the delightful lead character that it might make you want to drop everything and move to Paris. It's actually way more adult than you would expect, but it's also incredibly honest about love and matters of the heart. It's probably the most unique film on this list, and one that everybody should see at least once. Maybe twice. Okay, fine, 3 times. How does the quote go? It's time to get busy living or get busy watching the Shawshank Redemption? Wait, that doesn't sound right. But it doesn't matter. The Shawshank Redemption has one of the best feel-good endings of all time, just because of how earned it feels. For the whole movie, we have to watch Tim Robbins' Andy Dufresne suffer at this prison for a crime he didn't commit. And just when we think the oppressive system has gotten to him and he might end things, it turns out the opposite was true. After years of careful planning, he's able to break out of the prison by crawling through not pleasant stuff and finally exits a free man. That's not all. He's able to bring down the whole corrupt system and escape to his dream location. And for added benefit, his best friend Red eventually joins him. How great is that? I don't think many people expected a whole lot from Fighting with My Family, but then were pleasantly surprised by its quality and heart. Besides an early breakout role for Florence Pugh, the movie loosely tracks the true story of WWE's Paige as she enters the world of pro wrestling. Along the way, she has to learn how to work with others and be comfortable in her own skin, while also realizing she needs to be a bit independent when it comes to her own life. It's a really strong message to an overall really heartfelt movie. Plus, it has The Rock. Who doesn't love The Rock? You think if E.T. the Extraterrestrial was made today, the famous line would be changed? Instead of E.T. phone home, it would be something like E.T. text home, or E.T. make TikTok for home, or something like that. Well, I don't have the answer to that, but all I know is that they should never remake E.T. because the first one is cinematic gold. It's such a heartwarming story between a boy and a weird-looking alien creature who likes Reese's Pieces, and it's the perfect amount of 80s nostalgia that makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside without beating us over the head with it. If you want to cheer by seeing a bicycle fly through the air, then you should rewatch E.T. I mean, when you have the word underdog in your title, you know it's probably going to be a feel-good movie, and that's exactly what Dodgeball, a true underdog story, is. Seriously, don't be fooled by its hilarious comedy or slightly vulgar bits, because deep down, this is a feel-good movie. We watch these underdogs, or average Joes, come together as a team to defeat true evil that happens to have great hair. Their journey isn't easy, but in the end, we get to see perhaps the most exciting thing to happen in any sports event ever. Sudden death dodgeball. Bold strategy, Cotton. If you get past the fact that a rat gets a restaurant shut down in Ratatouille and then immediately opens up another restaurant with even more rats involved, then you'll find Pixar's Ratatouille is one of the animation studio's most feel-good films. For most Pixar movies, when there's a villain, they stay the villain until the bitter end. But Ratatouille subverts that expectation. Remy cooks his ratatouille dish that truly warms the heart of cynical critic Anton Ego. It's such a nice ending to a sweet film. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to try to replicate that ratatouille dish for the 500th time. It's super easy to bash on most Adam Sandler comedies, especially his recent ones, which don't seem much like comedies but rather either excuses to travel to exotic locales or just hang out with some friends. But I really enjoy most of Adam Sandler's early 2000 work.
I hate cursive and I hate all of you!
His most feel-good movie is definitely Big Daddy, which sees man-child Adam Sandler learning to take care of a child and wacky shenanigans ensue. It shouldn't work as well as it does, but darn it, I still get choked up thinking about little Julian begging to stay with Adam Sandler. And the ending hits you harder than you would expect from an early 2000s Adam Sandler comedy. Growing up is hard. As we transition from our teenage years to adulthood, we learn a lot of life's most crucial lessons. That's why there's so many successful coming-of-age high school comedies. Those movies do a good job in capturing what it's like to start growing up in the real world. One of the best of those types of movies came recently with Booksmart. It followed two friends trying to let loose and party a bit before they graduate high school. That seems like a simple setup, but anyone who's seen the movie knows how surprisingly heartfelt it is. Beanie Feldstein and Caitlin Dever have amazing chemistry as two friends, and watching them navigate the messy high school party scene leads to a cathartic, feel-good ending. Can you believe that Babe, the movie about the talking pig who wants to be a sheepdog, was nominated for a whopping 7 Oscars? That's insane! But then again, Babe is a classic. And silly premise aside, it knows how to tug directly at your heartstrings and make you probably pass the next time someone offers to make you pork chops. How can you not feel the emotion behind when the kindly James Cromwell tells Babe,
That'll do, pig.
It's one of the best moments in any of these films. And again, I can't believe I'm saying that. Carpe diem, seize the day. That's the message behind Dead Poets Society, a drama about an unorthodox teacher and his students in a prep school. He teaches them how to live outside of just studying and books and shows them how to not just coast through life, but rather truly experience it. Now, this movie gets a little dark in its finale, but it all leads to a truly inspiring ending where the students all stand up on their desks in honor of their teacher. And sure, that doesn't sound as significant just saying that a bunch of students stood up on their desks, but the meaning behind it and seeing the pride in Robin Williams' eyes is just incredible. After a wild movie filled with failed dress shopping, free puppies, and one incredible plane ride, the hit comedy Bridesmaids sees everything wrapped up with a nice bow. After almost ruining her relationship with her best friend, Annie reconciles with Lillian and also makes peace with her mortal enemy Helen for one big happy ending. Plus, watching everyone sing along to Wilson Phillips is a definite highlight and reminds us all why we love that movie so much in the first place. Everyone gets a happy ending. Plus, let's also feel good about the fact that this movie totally launched Melissa McCarthy's career into A-list status. Okay, there's just something about ending your movie on an extravagant musical number that really amps up its feel-good status. How could you not want to stand up, cheer, and rush to join your local a cappella group after seeing the ending of Pitch Perfect, which sees the Bard and Bellas work together to deliver a show-stopping final performance? Not only does everyone get a chance to shine in that final collaboration, but it represents what happens when you mix an old style with a new one. And when Becca throws in the Breakfast Club song to win back her boyfriend, yeah, that's hard to top. Plus, it will make you want to throw the word Aka in front of everything. I'm Aka serious. 13 Going on 30 is a staple of the 2000s romantic comedy genre. Jennifer Garner plays Jenna, you guessed it, 13-year-old who magically gets to live her 30-year-old life.
30 and flirty and thriving.
She learns all the lessons she's supposed to learn and even falls in love with her childhood best friend Maddie. But like most romantic comedies, things get complicated, and right when all hope seems lost, she gets transported back to her 13-year-old self and gets to fix all of her mistakes. It's a little corny watching a future Jenna and Maddie move into their dream house while eating their favorite Razzles candy, but it's still really sweet. Hey, do you know what happened to the man who suddenly got everything he always wanted? He lived happily ever after. That's the ending for the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which saw young Charlie inherit Willy Wonka's chocolate factory in a brutal battle royale which saw one kid left standing. What? You know it's true. But seeing the kind-hearted Charlie be able to get out of living in squalor and stop eating laundry soup while moving into a factory filled with Oompa Loompas is actually really heartwarming. Even if it's pretty much acknowledged by now that Grandpa Joe is a trash human being, it's still a really nice ending for Charlie. Don't you forget about the Breakfast Club. Okay, that remix definitely doesn't work. All I'm saying is that The Breakfast Club, like many of John Hughes' films, has a real feel-good ending. Seeing all the kids leave their Saturday detention a little bit more mature than when they entered is so great. And even though Judd Nelson's character will be in detention forever, seeing him raise his fist in the air at the end is one of the most iconic final images of all time. What feel-good movies do you watch when you need a pick-me-up? Any that we missed? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to hit that big like and subscribe button for more awesome serotonin-boosting content like this. Thanks for watching Screen Rant. See you next time.